Big Ray's Wrestling Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. If you don't know who I am the Mark of the Masses, the man on the planet, Big Ray, here to say the talk some Monday Night Raw 11/10/2014 today from the UK. Now, I am joined by the co-host of One Wrestling Goes Old School and also the lead host of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. You can find them on iTunes and on Podbean. Really hilarious stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It is my good friend, Billy Ray Valentine, a.k.a. on Twitter, at Billy Ray Hustle. I am at Big Ray Show on Twitter. Billy, what did you think of this really, really, really good show? I actually enjoyed it.
Well, you know what? I thought it was awesome that they were in England for this, in Liverpool, England, home of the Beatles. You know, and the American crowd could really take some lessons from the crowd over the seas. You know what I mean? Because they were hot from the get, and it made the show a much better experience.
Well, then let me tell you something. Number one, right off the bat, I don't know if I ever noticed this before, but it was hilarious where John Cena actually, and I love the fact when the wrestlers do this, when they address the crowd, when the crowd is trying to troll them or something like that, and John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks. Dude, I thought it was awesome.
That was music to my ears. It was Kurt Angle all over again. You know what? They did the "You Suck." We should. Why aren't we doing that here in the United States every time John Cena comes out? Why don't we yell John Cena sucks along with the song? It's a no-brainer.
I have a feeling that from this point on, the United States fans or fans anywhere around the world are going to do it, because that was really, really funny. Now, John Cena came out and he basically, cut a promo regarding the fact that Zack Ryder had been injured by the Authority. And leave it like this. The Authority is systematically taking out every single potential member of Team Cena. So now John Cena actually calls Ryback out. Now, why don't you tell the fans what happened between Ryback and John Cena?
Well, they were getting ready for their match at the end of the night, apparently. They had been matched up together, but Cena was trying to recruit Ryback to be part of Team Cena in the Survivor Series, which I'm very, very happy that they reverted back to the old school way of the Survivor Series, having team versus team, even though we're only going to have one match like that, apparently. But regardless, very happy about that. So they're trying to recruit Ryback to Team Cena, and then everything else blows up because, you know, he doesn't really want to commit. And then the Authority comes down, and they want to recruit the big guy to Team Authority as well.
Now, I like the way it was done, where, you see Ryback just kind of standing by and hearing everybody cutting their little promos, and Ryback, gets in their face and he says, basically, I don't see John Cena's name on my check, and he goes and basically hits him with a spinebuster. So, but then he walks out, leaving us to wonder whether he actually was part of Team Authority and not Team Authority. We find out a little later on, but we'll move on. But overall, what did you think of the first opening segment? I thought it was really well done.
You know, normally I have an issue with 18-minute opening segments and 19-minute opening segments, but this one was really good. It kept my attention the entire time. Everybody was on. Cena was good. Ryback was good. The Authority was good. Stephanie McMahon has stepped it up to another level. She is incredibly good at what she does.
Oh, yes.
She's on level with her father. So I mean, the it's true. The whole 18-minute segment was great, man. I dug it from the get.
Yeah. You know something? It's true. It's really difficult sometimes to sit down for 20 minutes of talking, but when it's good talking and when it's interesting talking, and again, I think this show, and we'll get into it a little later on, really did a solid job at building the importance of this final Survivor Series type match. But I want to move on to the second match, or actually the first match of the night, where we have Jack Swagger versus potential Team Cena member, Jack Swagger versus the leader of Team Authority, that'd be Seth Rollins. Now, Jack Swagger at one point had an ankle lock on Seth Rollins outside the ring, and the two Stooges came in to distract Rollins, and basically while he was being distracted, out of nowhere, Seth Rollins jumps off the barricade and pushes Jack Swagger into the side post of the ring, knocking him out, and he basically gets pulled into the ring, gets the curb stomp for the 1-2-3, and then gets a second curb stomp to finish him off. So now what I'm seeing here is that Jack Swagger is now taken out. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't think anybody really believed that Jack Swagger was going to be a part of that team from the beginning anyway. So you knew something was going to happen to Jack Swagger. Poor Jack Swagger. He was the sacrificial lamb, but worked out really well. The match was so-so, but it was more of a story than the match itself. It was building to the end of Raw.
Right. So we had a couple of backstage segments. We had Dean Ambrose promo. Did you want to say anything about that?
There were several Ambrose. Well, you know what? They played it several times during the match.
Right.
I mean, during the night.
Right.
It was okay. I love Dean Ambrose. I'm a big fan. But I guess him meeting Bray Wyatt at the same level of craziness. He's like, I'm not afraid to go into a dark alley with Bray Wyatt. I mean, I guess I get it,
right.
But ultimately, it was a little. What is it? Corny to me, just a little
hokey.
Bit.
Little hokey.
Little hokey. That's the word I was looking for.
That's a Bill Apter word.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
All right. So then we quickly move on to another backstage segment where Kane is talking to Ryback, and Kane. I don't know what the hell was up Kane's ass, to be honest with you. Kane seemed to have an issue with Ryback right off the bat, telling Ryback that if you have any issues, you listen to me, basically. And Ryback, some people don't like Ryback. I love snarky Ryback. He's like, I got this, and
big guy,
big guy. I got this, and I really enjoy Ryback. Some people don't. I do. I like Ryback. I don't think he's horrible in the ring. The guy has great size. I think he has good charisma. What do you think, Lou?
I love Ryback, man.
Yeah.
I think we're meeting on that. I really do. I think they screwed up with him in the beginning. I mean, he had so much momentum. Everybody was behind him, and then they just dropped the ball on him, and they had him paired up with Curtis Axel, and that went nowhere. Come on, you can't pair anybody up with Curtis Axel.
Stupid.
But you know what? When he came back, when he debuted, the crowd popped so hard for him, and I was hoping that they would do something with him. What scares me about Ryback right now, okay, is that he can potentially end up being food for Rusev later on. That's what scares me about Ryback. I want them to give him a push. The people are behind him. I think the people in the States and the people in the UK were really behind him when he came out. So there's potential there. I hope they don't squander it.
Well, I mean, the truth is that when Ryback was teaming with Curtis Axel towards the end of the tenure of that tag team, Ryback was really over with the crowd, the big guy. On Twitter, he was going nuts, saying some inappropriate things, and I think he actually got pulled into the office once or twice. I mean, that's allegedly and what I hear. So, but Ryback was really, really over. Again, I agree with you 1,000%. I think Ryback, they definitely dropped the ball, Ryback. But then again, at the same time, Ryback came in at a time where they needed a superstar, where he faced CM Punk, and Ryback was still, even though he'd been in the wrestling business for a long time, he trained OVW, so on and so forth. He did the whole Tough Enough thing way back in the day. I don't know if everybody knows that. He was Ryan Reeves. Yeah, he did. And long story short, Ryback, I don't think was 100% ready at the time to actually take the title. But I don't know. Ryback seems to be really over, and I don't see anything wrong with him in the ring at all.
No.
The guy is extremely charismatic also, but good segment between those two. It builds, building towards the storyline, which WWE hadn't been doing for quite some time, but looks like maybe, I don't know. And I wanted to get your opinion on something. Did you notice when the show actually started, it was a little different?
It was Lucha Underground-ish.
Lucha Underground-ish. Expound on that. Excuse me.
The opening segment was really, I want to say, movie-ish. They were setting up like a trailer of everything that happened before. Lucha Underground does that. Lucha Underground is very television oriented. You know what I mean? Like they set up these little pre-recorded things in the back about what's going on and what's going to happen. Same thing Raw did today. As soon as it's funny you should mention that,
Yep.
because as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, this is different, and it reminds me of Lucha Underground.
And what's funny? The reason why I asked you is because during the Can-Am Wrestling show, with me and Andre Corbeil, of course, follow my buddy at Andre_Corbeil. We talked a lot about Lucha Underground, and I'm not going to get into that too much, but yes, I thought the exact same thing. And listen, between us, we weren't really texting during the show. We were just basically watching the show. We haven't discussed this. I thought the exact same thing, and I was really interested to hear your take on it. But all right, really cool. So now we're gonna jump into a match between Alicia Fox and Paige. It was relatively a quick match. Now, what I did notice was Alicia Fox was very aggressive during this match, and the girl can go. I mean, do you agree on that?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I think she's awesome in the ring, and I think it's important to note that the big pop that Paige got when she came out. I know they're in the UK. I know this.
Man.
I know this, but she came out and the crowd went nuts over in Liverpool, England, home of the Beatles.
Oh yeah. So now Paige hits the Rampage DDT for the 1-2-3, and Paige basically wins that match. Overall, short match. Overall, decent match. Overall, basically setting up future, I guess, Diva feuds or whatever. But I mean, right now with the Diva division, what's your feeling about the Divas division? Really shortly for the fans here at OneWrestling.com.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's just not good. Like, and they have good female wrestlers like Alicia Fox. Paige is pretty good. I think AJ is good as well. AJ could be sloppy sometimes, but I think she's good as well. But they're concentrating, and actually, what's her face? The Rack Attack, man. Nikki.
Nikki.
Yeah,
Right.
Nikki's not that bad. I mean, she's not great. Don't get me wrong, but she's not that bad. Brie is awful. I mean, it's they. You know what I would like to see, man? I would like to see the WWE stray from getting incredibly beautiful women that can't wrestle,
Right.
and get women that actually could wrestle. You know what I mean? I'd like to see wrestling. If I want to see a beautiful woman, there's plenty of ways I could do that.
Well, listen, my man, Nikki Storm just got booted off of British boot camp, and Nikki Storm's one hell of a talent over there in the UK. I don't know if anybody knows about Nikki Storm. She is fantastic. She's one of the best indie wrestlers. She's amazing, and she cuts some damn good tough girl promos. Nikki Storm, Google her, YouTube her, do whatever the hell you want. And when she's dialed up, she's actually kind of hot. So
I'm gonna check that.
Check out Nikki Storm. But anyway, so now we move on backstage. We have Stephanie McMahon, and she actually runs into Lana and Rusev Machka. Now, really funny. She basically, that being Stephanie McMahon, kind of put Lana in her place. Why don't you tell the fans what happened between those two?
Well, she pretty much told her that politics didn't matter. All that matters was the authority. That's all that matters.
Yeah, right. Politics don't matter.
You better get in line. Tell that to Vladimir Putin. You know what I mean? I thought they were going to take this U.S. title and take it back to the Kremlin. I thought they were at least going to do that. Now that they're in Europe, they should film a segment with Rusev in Russia.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, with that title belt. They should do something. I mean, it's a no-brainer. They should really do something like that.
Honestly, I mean, this may be corny, but I would do the same thing that James Storm did and turn that U.S. title into the Canadian title, turn it into the Russian heavyweight title.
That's coming, bro. That's happening.
Oh, you think that's going to happen? All right,
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so we're going to move on to a quick little vignette, and they've been playing these vignettes a lot. We have Xavier Woods, or was it Kirk Franklin? The famous gospel singer. I don't know what the hell they're doing with Xavier Woods, but later on in the show, we find out that Xavier Woods is not alone, and we'll get into that. So we're gonna quickly move on to the Rusev celebration now, which I thought was again very well done. You had the Russian representative there reading the proclamation for Rusev.
Yeah.
The national anthem is played. The big flag drops, and then what happens?
The big flag drops, and then Sheamus runs out
It's a shame.
to a big pop as well. I mean, the European crowd was hot for this. Sheamus runs out and interferes and breaks it all up. No offense to any of my Russian people watching this. We didn't, Sheamus didn't mean any offense by that. Neither did the WWE.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but he came out, he interrupted. He went after Rusev, and there was a match to be had.
Yeah. Now, this was a match for the United States title, and I got to tell you something, man. This was a really good match. And let me tell you something, man. We've said this. I think you and I have said this before. Rusev and Sheamus have really, really good in-ring chemistry. Your opinion?
Now, Rusev and Sheamus have great in-ring chemistry. The match today, I think that was the match of the night. It was a really, really hard-hitting match.
I agree.
They both went in. Rusev is a monster.
So good.
I was watching Rusev in NXT back in the day, you know what I mean, when he was coming up. And I would have never imagined that he'd be at this point right now. That he's probably second only to Seth Rollins with the biggest heel in the company. Yeah. It's got to be him, you know what I mean? And they had an amazing match. A lot of big spots. You know what spot I like the most? When Rusev did that spinning flying leg kick. And he hit it with so much intensity and just the his facial expressions, man. It's just great the way he sells things. I love Rusev, man.
Well, what about the fallaway slam on the table that did not break? That was a really stiff bump, if you know what I mean. But basically, listen, at the end of the match, the Authority, Sheamus and Rusev are going at it outside the ring, and Sheamus is actually giving it to Rusev. I mean, he's slamming him against the barricades back and forth now as Rusev runs into the ring. The Authorities, the Stooges, actually stop Sheamus from getting back in the ring. Now, here's something funny, and I'm not nitpicking, but usually when something like that happens, the referee kind of breaks the count, but the referee kind of paused about 5 seconds between 9 and 10. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about out there, but the referee was like, 9! Then he goes and he checks on Rusev, and he looks back, 10. I don't know. It was a little hokey the way it ended, but Rusev actually retains the United States title. Great match, and again, building towards, the storyline, which was really, really good. You have any opinions on this match before we move on?
Well, yeah, like I said, the match was great, and they made the ending, while it wasn't an ideal ending, it still made Sheamus look good, and Rusev keeps his undefeated exactly. He keeps his undefeated streak intact, and both of them look like strong competitors. They could even have a rematch, and of course, it's building. Like this entire Monday Night Raw was building towards something, and it's something we don't normally get. Raw's been atrocious for a long, long time, but this one was good.
And isn't it the way it should be?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like I'm sitting down here watching the show, and I enjoyed the whole show. I don't think there was really a segment that I said, I mean, there was one. But
there was one. Yeah, there was one.
There was one.
I think it was the same one.
Damn, me and you are right there, man. I know this guy for over 10 years. Anyway, all right, so let's move on. We have Los Matadores with the stupid bull. I even forgot the freaking bull's name. Versus
El Torito.
El Torito, yeah, that guy. Versus Damien Mizdow, The Miz, and they are accompanied by Hornswoggle, the Kiss of Death, I call him.
Yeah,
Anybody Hornswoggle is pinned with, basically, I don't know. Anyway, Miz basically gets the pin when Sandow, I think if I'm correct, one of the Los Matadores picks up the Miz for a body slam, but then gets tripped up and Damien Mizdow holds the leg like the old school.
That's right.
What basically do you think? All right, let me put it to you this way: why Hornswoggle? Why?
I mean, they needed somebody to match El Torito, I guess, right? So they went and got Hornswoggle. That's why they keep him around.
Oh my God. I'm literally so freaking tired of seeing God forgive me, seeing that little person on my screen. I mean, the guy. How the hell does he keep a job in the WWE fire Justin Roberts?
Good for him, man. I'm not gonna knock his hustle, even though I'm not exactly fond of the guy. But he's getting paid, and they keep him around. Vince McMahon likes to do the comedic thing, the really corny thing that's only funny to Vince McMahon, and that's why he keeps these people around.
That's why Vince McMahon had his own cartoon about his ass. But anyway, so those who don't know that, it's true. Just YouTube it. Vince McMahon had a cartoon about his ass. So now we're gonna move on, and we have a backstage segment where we have Dolph Ziggler again building towards Survivor Series. Dolph Ziggler in an interesting conversation with John Cena backstage. Triple H comes in, makes fun of them both, and basically bans John Cena from the ring during the Ziggler-Henry match, which we're going to jump in really quickly. Why don't you give your opinion on this match, my friend?
Match was good, but again, it's building to the story again. But what I got the most out of this is that at the end, Mark Henry gets himself disqualified, and he starts beating the trash out of Ziggler. It looks like he was just trying to eliminate Ziggler from the picture. He wasn't even trying to win.
Right.
He just wanted to hurt him, get rid of him. But the thing to take from this is that no John Cena. I mean, who comes out later, but no John Cena. John Cena doesn't come out to help the guy. They're just talking backstage about, how we got to be partners. It's you and me. There's nobody else. The guy's getting his ass whipped.
Yeah, but he was banned.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, they're using chairs, tables, and not chairs and tables. They're using the metal steps.
Steps, yeah.
Yeah, at that point, you run out. You know what I mean, and do something. And he didn't. I mean, what kind of morale are you setting for your team?
Maybe he was locked backstage.
Maybe. I guess we got to be very creative with our imaginations on that one.
No, listen, man. Hey, people make fun of smart marks like us, but the fact of the matter is that, think logically. I mean, if you banned somebody, I would lock him in a room somewhere with security guarding the door. That's what they should have done. They should have showed John Cena backstage trying to get out of the room, but you have security holding him back. That's the way I would have wrote it. I don't know about
definitely. That's exactly what should have happened. But then the Big Show comes out. And he makes his presence felt, and he says that he's going to be in Cena's team. He makes the save. Ziggler's doing okay now because Big Show came out, and he's going to be on Cena's team.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to a vignette. And again, I thought they were showing the same damn vignette, the same New Day vignette with Xavier Woods, but whoa.
It's somebody else.
Wait a second. Another black guy. Hashtag racist. I'm sorry, guys.
No, man, that's exactly what I thought, man. I had to do a double take.
Oh my God. So Kofi Kingston now comes out shucking and jiving, and I gotta tell you, listen. Oh my God. You know what? I'm gonna refrain from saying what I really feel. Maybe I'll save that for the uncensored Can-Am Wrestling show. But I don't know what they're doing now. There was a faction with Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E that was supposed to be forming. People were making fun of it, calling it the new Nation of Domination, so on and so forth. But I don't know. I'm interested. Lou?
Next week we're gonna get the third vignette with Big E.
Oh my God, dude! Remember, he's been talking like a preacher.
Yes.
Oh,
we're gonna get the third vignette with Big E.
Christ.
It's gonna happen, okay, and they're gonna remain a faction, but apparently they're gonna save your soul or something to that effect. It's TD Jakes, what's his face? You mentioned him earlier. Kirk Franklin,
Hezekiah
James
Walker,
Brown,
cheese and crackers,
all molded into three, I guess. And I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do this, but let's see what happens, man. I mean, I think it's gonna be really bad, but it could be really funny.
If they go with a black supremacist gimmick, that makes any sense, kind of like a Black Panther type thing. I don't know. It doesn't work nowadays, man. I mean, that's the Nation of Domination. I don't know what they're gonna do, dude.
No, this isn't gonna be a black supremacist thing. This is gonna be a televangelist.
Please don't tell me they're gonna do that.
This is what it's gonna be.
No.
It's gonna be. They're all gonna be preachers, but maybe they'll be crooked preachers.
What are
they're
they
gonna
preaching about?
They're gonna be these guys.
How you have to put every black guy together in the team?
I think they're just gonna be the type of dudes that take people's money. That they're on Sunday television very early in the morning.
No.
Televangelists that they ask you for money and you get them. These swindlers. That's what I think they're gonna be.
What I wanted to see was this faction of African American professional wrestlers who have been screwed over and over again, and basically saying, God rest his soul, when Owen Hart used to say, enough is enough, and I'm not gonna take it anymore. That's what I wanted them to say, but I don't know where they're going with this, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said before, Billy Ray, I am interested.
Yeah, I mean it is interesting. I'm gonna tune in next week to see Big E's a vignette because it's coming.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. So now
It's coming.
we're gonna run into basically which was a squash match, which we had Brie Bella with Nikki versus AJ Lee, and Brie relatively quickly submits to the Black Widow. Nikki comes into the ring and then proceeds to beat the living hell out of AJ Styles, and then puts Brie Bella in the rack attack. You know, I don't know, dude. This is give me what's your opinion?
Hey, listen, man. I said this before on the PW Hustle podcast, man. Listen, my whole deal is with this. When I see Brie Bella in the ring and she yells "Brie mode" when she's gonna do something,
Remo, the
yeah, I mean,
worst song ever.
ever. But now she uses it as a Hulk up. You know what I mean? It's a thing when she's about to do something in the ring. She yells, Brie mode. It's the worst thing I've ever heard. She's just so not natural. Like you could just tell. It looks forced. It's just not good. And I wish they would stop this immediately.
Kibosh it. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
It is what it is. We're gonna have to suffer, I think, another 2 weeks or something like that of this whole Nikki Bella, Brie Bella being Nikki's personal assistant or whatever the hell.
Yeah, but I think this is probably going to go on to WrestleMania. I think this chick is going to get the world title, Nikki. She's going to get it, and Brie's going to beat her for it. That's what they're going for here.
You really think that?
Unfortunately, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope I'm very wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen.
All right. Well, okay. Well, now I don't disagree. I'm not intrigued by the whole Brie Bella Nikki Bella thing. So it is what it is. But you know what I am intrigued by? I'm intrigued by the bunny. We'll jump into Adam Rose versus Tyson Kidd. Now we're gonna really quickly run through this. The bunny basically tries to come off the top rope, distracting Adam Rose. Adam Rose is distracted, and well, he gets the sharpshooter. And after the match, well, Adam Rose kicks the bunny in the Easter egg. So,
Yes.
tell me what you think.
I think that the bunny is Shawn Michaels. Not really. I think he's going to super kick what's his face, Adam Rose, and hopefully Adam Rose goes back to being a sadistic character. What was his face in NXT? What was his
Leo Kruger.
He could go back to being Craven, Leo Kruger. It would be awesome instead of what he's doing now. So we have the bunny. That's inevitably it's going to be the bunny versus Adam Rose. That's what's going to happen.
No.
And next week we're getting the Grumpy Cat is going to be on Raw. So we got the Grumpy Kitty, we got the Bunny, we got El Torito. You know, it's going to be awesome next week. And we have the Big E vignette. I can't wait.
It's gonna be a zoo of horribleness.
Good
All
Lord.
right, so then we jump into a Bray Wyatt promo. I really don't want to get into that because it's pretty much the same thing every single week. Even though good, you know, Bray Wyatt always cuts one hell of a promo. But is there anything you wanted to point out about the Bray Wyatt promo, or you want to move on?
No, not really. I think he needs to start doing different promos. That's
All right,
it. It's just the same thing over and over again. You know what? I think he needs to just shake it up a little bit. Not bad. It wasn't bad, but I think he just needs to do something different. That's it.
I agree. So now let's jump into the main event of the evening. We have John Cena versus Ryback. Why don't you tell us what happened during this match? Because there is a lot going on tonight.
So Ryback comes down. The entire Team Authority comes with him. You know, so you knew something was going to happen off the bat right there. What'd you think of the match? Okay,
I thought it was a good match.
It was a hard-hitting match.
It was a solid match.
But
Very solid match.
I do want to say a couple of things. The crowd was kind of not as into it as they had been.
Yeah, they were
throughout.
tired.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. It's a 3-hour Raw. And by the end of it, people get tired. By the third hour, they should really consider chopping this last hour and condensing everything to 2. And that way it'll be a freaking crazy good show almost all the time. I think the reason Raw hasn't been as good as it could be is because they have to stretch it out for 3 hours.
And I agree with you 100% with the fact that, you know, they can, you know, and this is why, like with Lucha Underground, it's a 45-minute show. You get a storyline in. You get great matches.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea why WWE have to. I don't know why they're doing that. Why they have to take it upon themselves to stretch it for 3 hours. I don't do they get more money regarding commercials and stuff like that? Like I don't get it.
I don't know. Possibly that's what goes on. I'm really not privy to that information. I don't know. But personally, if they really want to get the most out of their product and have people come back and watch week after week after week, I think what they need to do is cut it down to 2 hours and pack
Yeah.
all that action into that. They'll get a lot out of it. Plus, they don't have the roster right now for it. I don't think.
The one thing I will say about this show tonight, and we're gonna really get into John Cena, Ryback, is that there was a lot of wrestling tonight.
Yeah,
There were a
which is
lot of
good.
matches. There were a
Hmm.
lot of matches. Now, of course, the again, like we said, that the 18-minute promo to start the show, but it was again very very interesting to watch, and it was intriguing television. Excuse me, I'm a little tongue tied. So now with this match, basically the entire Team Authority was out in support of Ryback. Now,
Yeah.
Ryback had basically told Kane, stay out of my way, earlier during the match. And during this match, there was a point where Ryback was tossed out of the ring into Kane. And Kane seemed to be extremely upset. Do you want to pick it up from here?
Well, what happened was, yeah, Kane was a little pissed off or whatever. But I mean, they teased at this tension at the beginning of the show,
Right.
and this is what was going to build between the both of them to have it explode. Pretty much, he got into Ryback's face. Ryback wasn't having it. Then all hell broke loose, disqualification. But what was more telling about the whole segment was that each of the authorities, not the authorities, of the alliance guys, the alliance,
The Alliance, WCW, ECW.
each of the guys from on Cena's team, when they came down to try to make the save, they came down individually. I didn't get that. Their music hit, then one guy came out, then
I thought the same thing.
I was like, what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's the point of this? I mean, even though the whole point was Dolph Ziggler, he never came out. You're like, why didn't Dolph Ziggler came out? I mean, he would have been the first one to come out, right? But then we found out at the end that Luke Harper had him hemmed up in a corner, beat his ass, and threw him at the authority leaders.
And speaking of Luke Harper, now you actually called this, I think, on your podcast, the Pro Wrestling Hustle. If I'm correct, that you thought it was Luke Harper. I don't know if you called it on your podcast or maybe we were just talking off air or something like that, but I'm pretty sure you said that it was Luke Harper right off the bat, and I was shocked, but also pleased to see Luke Harper be the one to take Dolph Ziggler out. Now, my question to you is: do you think Dolph Ziggler is out, or is he still in?
Oh, he's still in, definitely. I mean, they just they just used that to get the Wyatt into the picture. You know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
is he still considered a Wyatt? I don't know. I mean,
No, he's
yeah.
his own man, I think, by this point in juncture.
Yeah, the new age Cactus Jack is what I like to call him. He reminds me of Cactus Jack. He has incredible ability in the ring, and he's a great promo. I like this guy a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of people have said he is the modern day Bruiser Brody or King Kong
Yeah.
Brody, depending on which organization you grew up watching. Listen, I all in all during this match. Oh, and let's basically give the finish of the match if you don't mind. During the end of the match, we have Ryback, who's about to hit the meat hook clothesline on John Cena, and everybody's feed me more.
Yeah.
And Kane, for some freaking reason, jumps into the ring and just annihilates John Cena, which causes all hell to break loose. And this is where basically, John Cena wins the match via disqualification, so on and so forth. And like you said, Team Cena come down one by one, which didn't make any damn sense. But eventually, Ryback comes and just totally cleans house, picks up Kane and hits him with the shell shock. But then again, there's a question. Is he still with Team Authority? I don't think so, because now they have their fifth man in Luke Harper.
Yeah, he's a team player.
He is a team. He said it. I'm a team player. But
He never made it clear that he was with Team Cena either. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to continue to tease that, but ultimately he's going to end up with Team Cena.
No, I think so too. And what I didn't understand was why are you going to make such a big deal about Ryback going backstage? I don't know if you remember he was interviewed last week saying, "Oh, I've done a lot of bad things, and I'm trying to change my ways." And then all of a sudden, just because John Cena's name is not on his check, he flips on John Cena and joins the Authority. It didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And also, it didn't make sense to me to bring him in as a baby face and then turn him heel. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Right off the bat. So, long story short, I love the fact that finally Ryback is getting his just due. I think this will be a great stage. And I'm going to make a prediction right now, Lewis.
Go
I'm going
ahead.
to make a prediction. I predict that on Team Cena, listen to me, this is going to sound crazy. John Cena will be the first one eliminated on his team.
Oh, that's almost sacrilege. What are you talking about, bruh? How's that going to happen? How's it going to work?
I'm not going to get into it now. We're going to talk about that next week, my friend.
You think he's going to be the first one eliminated?
Well, the thing is that I'm looking to do a preview show.
Yeah.
So I want to, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about that during the preview show, and hopefully, if you're not busy, Billy Ray Valentine, maybe you can join me in previewing WWE Survivor Series. What do you think?
If I can, I definitely will. You know that.
All right, very
I'm
cool. So,
down.
so again, all in all, this was a really good show. Excellent build up for the pay-per-view coming up in, I think, what is it, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, probably 2 weeks.
About
Not sure.
about 2 more weeks. It's hopefully next week is just as good, and hopefully we're done with the bunny.
Maybe we're done with the money. Can I make one quick plea to the people?
Please.
One quick one, okay?
Absolutely.
It's possible that the WWE starts pulling some of these pay-per-views from the network because they're not getting all the money that they're supposed to be getting or that they thought that they were going to be getting when they created this network, all right? 149,000 people bought SummerSlam, okay? 149,000 conventionally through pay-per-view. 50,000 of them bought Night of Champions.
Yep.
I don't understand the rationale. If it's $50 for a pay-per-view, take $10, buy the network, or take those $50 that you were going to spend on the pay-per-view, 50, 60, whatever it is, and buy a network membership for the price of one pay-per-view. You get 6. Okay, listen, I'm not one to start pushing or do free advertisement for the WWE.
How much is it?
An undisclosed sum,
$9.99.
But you know what? I'm broke, okay, and I want to see these pay-per-views for $9.99. I just sit there, turn on a network. I got it, and if I want to see more wrestling, I want to see NXT, I want to see the past. It's all there. It's a bargain, man.
It is.
Go ahead and sign up.
It is. Some people they want to they want to just judge it on the fact that it's WWE, it's the WWE network. Oh, we don't want to support the machine. But listen, like my buddy Billy Ray Valentine just said, it is only $9.99 a month. It's $10 a month, and you get unlimited content.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
And every pay-per-view.
Every single pay-per-view. Lewis, you want to plug your social media, my friend?
Hit me up on Twitter, Billy Ray Hustle, at Billy Ray Hustle. Go check out the PW Hustle podcast, man. PW Hustle at Podbeam or on iTunes, PW Hustle, one word. This week we got into a bunch of stuff. Finn Balor and the Iron Sheik reviewing metal bands. It happened. Go look it up. Big shout outs to my 2 partners, the Professor and A-Track Brown. Thanks for having me on, Big Ray. You know the deal.
It's always a pleasure, my friend. I say this every single week or every single review I do. I would do this for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us here at One Wrestling. One Wrestling. You can follow us on Twitter at One Wrestling. You can follow us here at OneWrestling.com. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Follow Billy Ray Valentine at Billy Ray Hustle. Follow Andre Corbeil, Andre_Corbeil. Of course, You Got the Show, Bill Schuyler on Twitter again at You Got the Show. And of course, the legend, Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, in the words of the main man with the master plan, Bill Apter, we will see you
at the matches.
At the matches.